is the pilot in Halo Infinite's E3 trailer? Well, we actually have a lot of info on this new character, theories, who he is, where he came from, what he's doing here, how long he's been at space, his partnership with Chief, that line that was really hard to hear in the video, and an eerie Easter egg hidden in the dialogue of the captions on the original Xbox upload, and much more. Guys, it's gonna be a very in-depth, fun video, so buckle up. Our main focus in today's video is answering this question. Who the heck is this dude? I will pretty much break down everything we know about this pilot, which, by the way, most people already care about much more than Agent Locke. Let's talk about why that is for a second. A character barely teased in a trailer cutscene thing at E3 for just a couple of minutes versus Locke, who has an entire game, a movie, and other mediums and so on, centered all about him. People still care about the pilot more than Locke, it seems. It's a little thing called empathy, and 343 played it well with the earlier portion with his wife and daughter in the hologram, and also showing that he has more or less been lost or abandoned. Noticed by Bow Chicka Wow Wow on Reddit, the pilot actually mouths "see you, bye bye." It's super subtle, but adds much more emotional depth, I think, to this scene. Obviously, this man has seen this tape of his family quite a few times. Now, this also shows that, of course, he has a family. And although it's hard to say that they're dead or not, certainly this separation from them was caused by the created war with Cortana, giving him a strong reason that has emotional depth, a powerful motivation to help Chief stop Cortana. And unlike just a soldier doing their job like Locke, which had a hollow, boring motivation at best just doing his job, this, on the other hand, certainly alludes to a much more human, much more in-depth emotional story than ever before. So this man has been referred many times by 343 as the pilot, a UNSC pilot. Now, I don't think he's going to be nicknamed pilot, but I just think 343 hasn't talked much about him. But 343 has already confirmed that we will see more of him in Halo Infinite. Plus, considering that this trailer was actually part of the opening cutscene in Halo Infinite, he surely holds a lot of importance to the story. Also, Chris Lee confirmed that this is a new character to the story, so no, it is very, very, very likely that he isn't already someone that exists in the lore like the books or other mediums. Also, I think it was hinted at that we'll hear more about him at E3 2020 next year. His jumpsuit actually has the original UNSC sigil, which spawned a lot of theories, and one of those theories is that he's actually a part of the Spirit of Fire, and that the Spirit of Fire crashed onto Zeta Halo searching for Anders, which of course would be the wrong ring, but nonetheless they're stuck here now, and they ran into a Guardian. Another theory is that the UNSC ran out of post-war gear because of the created war taking over everything, and they had to dip into the surplus and old uniforms and whatnot. 343 may also be keeping it classic and returning to the original designs, which we can see evidence of pretty much everywhere in both trailers so far. The biggest question is, what the hell is the pilot doing here though? Well, as he said, he doesn't even know where he is, and he is very likely a survivor from a Promethean and Guardian or Covenant attack, maybe both, but probably a survivor from the Infinity. Was he a part of said battle? Well, probably, because it seems that his ship is falling apart, likely damaged from escaping or fighting the battle. Although the ship may have been stranded for quite some time, which we'll talk about in a moment, so that may also be causing the ship to kind of fall apart and systems to start failing once in a while. And also, how long has he been lost at space? Well, long enough to grow a beard 3 to 4 inches long, and if his hair grows at the normal human rate, well, that would be just about 4 to 8 months, most likely being around 5 or 6 ish, most likely being 6 to be exact. Where does he poop? Well, that is a good question, not appropriate though for a HaloFollower video. I'm just kidding, I have no idea. Maybe he throws it out the airlock. Also, where is he going? Well, his ship tagged Chief as an ally, as a designated location, as the narrator commentator voice thing in the Pelican says, so that may very likely mean that his ship was just searching for anywhere that there may have been an ally, and that he was really completely stranded here. Now, if he was in the Halo Ring battle that caused this destruction, I'm assuming that a battle happened here as the debris already kind of cleared mostly, and that there seems to be Master Chief floating around here. Well, certainly it seems that maybe some battle happened. Now, if he was in that battle, then I'm a little bit confused why he just now found Master Chief and why he acted so surprised. So some people are thinking that he came from some elsewhere, as he says he doesn't even know where here is. Yet he alludes to the fact that he pretty much knows what happened at the Halo ring. So a couple things there that are a little bit conflicting. I think it's meant to make us ask questions, right? So 3 for 3 is doing a good job at writing here. So some people say, is he a part of the Installation 04 crew? Maybe like with the Echo 419. Although he says his Pelican is Echo 216, I think him being lost in space for 9 years is a bit of a reach. Like I said, I think he's been lost in space for 6 months, and honestly, I think he's a part of the Infinity. Now, I compare the younger version of him and the newer version of him with the beard, and why he does look much older at a glance, that's just the beard doing its work. And he doesn't really look much older. It's just been about 6 months, I think. But like Echo 419 in Halo 1 with FoeHammer, and how she always had our back in Halo 1, taking us places, dropping in warthogs, and so on, I think that this pilot will also take the same role as FoeHammer did in Halo 1. A theory made by Gordon Ramsay I thought would be worth mentioning. He says that maybe the pilot is from the Spirit of Fire, as the man is wearing an older Marine uniform, which would absolutely make sense because the Spirit of Fire has been lost at space up until Halo Wars 2, but even then they're still technically stranded. But he goes on to say the Spirit of Fire crashed on this ring, Zeta Halo, after encountering the Guardian. Makes sense. Perhaps the one at the end of Halo Wars 2 and lost adrift in space, and they end up finding Chief. The Pelican later crashes on the nearby Halo array, in which one of them is a pilot we see, perhaps injured, and they're looking for Chief. So let me know down in the comments what you think about that theory. Is it viable? One problem I do have with this theory is that in the original teaser, we see that it takes place in May 27th, 2560. And then, more than a year later, this cutscene takes place. So of course, maybe they just changed the story around a little bit. They made it take place in 2561 instead of 2560, but it certainly makes me think that maybe we will see some flashbacks explaining what happened between Halo 5 up to Halo Infinite. So let me know your thoughts on that. After booting Chief up, Chief steps out of the wire's embrace and the pilot tells him to go easy, saying, "Easy there, big guy, you're not," and then he's interrupted by Chief saying, "Status report." Now, this is subtle. It looks like it's not very important on the surface, but it's actually pretty big in my opinion. Joe Shrip on Reddit made a very interesting observation, saying that Halo 4 was themed about mental health, including John as a Spartan too. John's first line in this whole cutscene was, "Status report." Getting right back into the fight, with no hesitation. So from the looks of it, it seems that Chief will likely have been unconscious for about 6-something months adrift in space, and then seems to also have forgot what happened, likely the battle that destroyed this ring, so maybe he's having a little bit of amnesia, a little bit of forgetfulness, and the status report request leaves the pilot puzzled. He has this really confused look on his face. But I almost feel like this is a mirror to Blue Team's scene in Halo 5, where Fred pointed out Chief wasn't fine and perhaps getting overboard on missions. So now we come to the point of this section of the video, which is why Chief has greater mental capacity than average humans or Marines, which is pretty obvious. He too, I believe, has a breaking point without a doubt. He's still human. And this is a human story. And the other games alluded to humanity and, Cortana, which one is a machine. And I think Chief might break out of this machine, gotta get things done, idealism and focus and motivation. And this will likely be a plot point in Halo Infinite. I think the story, as they've said, is about humanity, but I think that will also leave us feeling and seeing a lot of empathy. And a big criticism from this trailer I've seen so far is, Chief is just gonna ignore his emotions some more and go on and be a lifeless soldier to kill more aliens. But I think not. I agree with Joe Strip saying that I also want to see John fail mentally and physically. Not because, I love Chief, but I want to see him break. One of the best things about heroes and stories is seeing them break. But not only that, I want to see a connection between just an average Marine pilot that wants to see his family again and Master Chief, this legendary Spartan 2 that saved humanity more times than you can count. To see Master Chief break and perhaps have this simple, humble Marine pilot bring 117 back up. And I think that would be pretty damn cool. And it would really bring a powerful sense of humanity and connection and empathy. And making a machine, Master Chief, much more human. At one point in the opening cutscene, the pilot said, "There's something you need to see, Chief. We lost everything. There's nothing left for us here." And then he said a line that many people, including myself, have been kind of scratching their head about. In fact, some people are like, how the hell did it get past screening? Because it's kind of hard to hear. Well, when the Halo Infinite trailer uploaded to Xbox's YouTube channel during my analysis, I quickly took a look at it in the captions briefly during the analysis, and it didn't say what I thought it would say. It said 1348. Well, that makes no sense, right? Well, I went back to the trailer, and now it says, "I don't even know where here is." Well, that line makes much more sense, right? Why would he say randomly 1348? I mean, that just got me really curious. What the hell is about 1348? And why did Xbox caption it like that and then change it later? Maybe it was an automated YouTube captions, but still that number 1348, what is that about? Well, I did a little research and I quickly found out that 1348 is a portion of the Bible, which makes sense because Halo has a lot of references to the Christian Bible already, like the flood and the ark and so on. Acts 1348 of King James Version actually reads, "And when the Gentiles heard this," Gentiles being non-Jews, "they were glad, and glorified the word of the Lord, and as many as were ordained to eternal life believed." Well, when I put this in context to Halo, I think it actually becomes a very interesting Easter egg. There's lots of verses and portions of the Bible that make no sense with Halo, so is it a coincidence that we have 1348 briefly popping up in the original upload of the Halo Infinite trailer? I find it hard to believe that Xbox accidentally posted 1348 on a major game trailer for their flagship console and their freaking whole gaming business, and I think it was actually an Easter egg. So this verse in the context of Halo could be seen as, "When the galaxy heard Cortana's message, they were glad and glorified by the word of Cortana and the created," the new god, right? "As they decreed Cortana as a goddess, and that they spread her word and were blessed with immortality." So, well, at least that's how I see it. And this makes total sense because in Halo 5 Guardians, Cortana had sent out a galactic message basically threatening everyone with force, enforcing peace with the Guardians, and promising eternal life for all AI, in which hundreds joined. And many locked down defense grids, locked down prisons, locked down everything you can imagine. And these AI really screwed civilization over. What is strange about all this is that I may be reaching here, but it's strange that the pilot said 1348, or at least sounded like he said that, or at least got that Easter egg, the 1348 thing, right before the ship becomes under attack by what most people are quick to assume is a Guardian, and rightfully so. So that's very interesting timing. I thought that was worth mentioning too. Another very interesting line I looked into was the pilot freaking out once the Pelican came under attack. I thought he said, "Not again, not again." And he said it kind of weird, but I looked at the captions. Captions are very helpful. He said, "Not them." Right? And then he said, "Not again." So not them, not again. Now I keep thinking it has to be a Guardian like everyone else, but maybe it isn't. The phrasing of them makes me think of a group, like an army, maybe a couple Guardians, maybe an army of Covenant, maybe an entirely new faction we just haven't seen yet. Let me know your thoughts down on the comment section below about that. Like this video up if you found it informing and or entertaining. It really helps out my content when we get more likes. And of course, subscribe. Join me on this journey. I'm going to be covering Halo Infinite all the way up to release and likely after. So guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below about everything we talked about today, and I will see you soon. Thank you so much for your time. Peace.